Yeah, clearly trying to figure this out.
You're literally trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I think this is what it's asking me. 865 copies. Go back here. And Edward called me as soon as 6-2. I was like, great. And then, hold on, I got to X on all these pages. Open, yeah, launch the meeting. Open, right? Join. The ID. Sean, Gary, I think it's
Yep, you're coming in now.
All right. I'll see you on the side. All right.
All right. Just let me know when to start.
Yeah, I think we're ready.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, first of all, I just wanted to know how you are you using another CRM at the moment, or how are you managing your events, your sales and calendar side of things right now?
Right now we're using DJ Event Planner.
Okay, cool. Yep. So I know that one. And I mean, are you happy with it, or I mean, what? I do notice that I have a lot of DJs using DJ Event Planner. Always seem to be on the lookout for something better. But obviously,
I mean,
DJ Event Planner had, it has, all the things you need, I guess, in terms of contract and that sort of thing. What EMP DJ offers is obviously, I've been building this for about 10 years, and it's offering, a more modern, cleaner user interface, easier to navigate and to use. And I think I've got a good system that I've devised for following up leads and prioritizing leads, and a simple system, right? So with EMP, there is actually an inquiry form that you embed to your website. So at the inquiry form settings, we can design up this inquiry form here and even make it like a 2-step form. And you can actually completely change the design of this and make it look really nice with your website. Like we could change the background color or image or the fonts and everything. But essentially we say what's on step 1, what's on step 2, what we want to show, and what is required or not required. But then we embed that to our website. And, someone completes the inquiry form, and then they're going to get an automatic quote based on event type and location. So the type could be a wedding, or it could be a corporate function, or it could be a birthday, and the location goes by major cities. So like if you charge the same price within a certain radius or major city, then that's your pricing for a wedding or a corporate or whatever it is. And then sometimes you might have a city that's like 3 hours away, and you can have separate sort of set of pricing.
Hold on one second there, Paul. In that example of the geographic differences in pricing for the packages, is that something that we set automatically before, or do we just set a different package for that?
Yeah, so first of all, you'll go to your region settings in the cities here and activate the cities that you service. Now, it might just be one city, right? If the city's not here, add it, because we've just added most of the capital cities, but you can just add one yourself. Once the cities are activated here, right? For me, I'm doing a nationwide agency and DJs in Thailand as well. So I've got many different cities. But then when I come to system settings, set prices, and from here, then it's going to show all of those cities, and for each one of those cities, I can set that separate set of pricing based on event type and a few other things, of course. So this is for general, wedding, primary school, for example, and I've got the standard hours that those events are and how much it costs for that set of 5 hours. This is how much time you would like the DJ to arrive before the event, 1 hour or 2 hours, and then on their job sheet will show that time that they have to arrive early. And this is how much you would charge the customer if they wanted more than the default setup hours. So if you standard 2 hours, but then they say, oh, it's in a restaurant and the manager doesn't want you carrying equipment in front of everyone. Can you come like at 10 a.m. in the morning? And you say, yeah, we can, but it's going to be an extra 6 hours and we have to charge for it, right? And that's what that is if you want to have that. So what this setup inclusive does is basically mean that that first hour is not adding to the quote. So less than standard, it means when the event is less than the standard. So if it's normally all your events in your city are 5 hours and then they want a 3-hour event, then you can make it automatically take off $50 per hour less than 5. Right. And then this is just the cost for extra hours. Right. Now, for each one of these event types, you can actually put a link to, could be a Google Drive or some kind of a PDF brochure. But I'll show you what I have, for example, for like general events. So I send them to this page. So in this automatic email, it says for us, right, DJ, it's going to be this much. And here's a link to our information. It's going to put the link based on the event type. So here's my general package is one I do, like make like an online kind of brochure thing. And then I put like a pricing packages table, right? So now if they choose a package, because the app doesn't exactly, the app can create a different quote based on extra equipment and things that they add, which you can add all these different extra equipment services like smoke machine, projector. But then the way I've set up my list of extras is I've actually added a thing for packages there, which puts the price difference between that package and the basic DJ and that upgraded package. That's how I do it. So the automatic quote can be customized based on extra things they select, and you can decide whether you want to show each one of these individually or not. So this page is like a brochure, which is an example of the type of link that I would put here for each one of these pricing things, right? So when someone completes that inquiry form, I'll get a notification to you and I'll go, okay, someone's just inquired. And then, so it's kind of like I kind of make it look like a social media app in a way, because it makes it more interactive and enjoyable to run the business. And so you got these notifications, kind of like a Facebook notification. And yeah, inquiry comes in, you click the date, takes you to view the details of this event. And so I can see up here, we've got customer details. Here is event details. Then we have like a checklist. All of this stuff, you don't check it manually except for when you confirm the details or when we approve a contract. Otherwise, everything else is automatically adding these dates when things happen. And so it kind of keeps an eye on the timeline. This is the quoting information. And this is the sales follow-up section where we leave notes about follow-up, or every time I speak to someone, I'll leave a note. Even if I ring someone and the phone rings out, I'll say mobile ring out, so I can keep track of every time I've attempted to to follow up with someone. And then this is here also in this follow-up section. This is where we're actually changing the status of the event and the follow-up filter, which I'll explain more in a second. So when this inquiry comes in, it comes in as open status, and then I'm going to follow up with them and try to catch them on the phone. And if I don't catch them on the phone, then they're going to stay in this sub status, which is a follow-up filter, and they're going to stay here. And then what's going to happen is after 3 days, the app will send them an automated email which says, hey, we got an inquiry from you a few days ago. We're following up to see if you received it. Do you have any questions at the moment? So all of these automated emails, like this one, the automatic one, and the one that goes out after 3 days, you can edit them in the email templates. And so we have like a email editor with all the short codes of things that you can use in the emails. And so if they don't respond to that email after 3 days, and you keep trying to call them and you don't get onto them, then they'll get another email after 10 days. And this one says, hey, received inquiry from you on this date, just wondering, is there information? Are you still searching for DJ? Do you have any questions? Right? So we're trying to get a response out of them. with the automated emails. Now the automated emails, you'll see that it doesn't look like a newsletter or anything. It actually looks like you've just written them an email. It's a very plain email, but that's what works. I've found that what's what works is that you want to, trick them that you're actually trying to follow them up, right, personally, and that's what gets the high response rate. Now, the app knows if you have spoken to them because you change it out of that follow-up filter, right? So let's say you call them and then she says, we're having a meeting with the committee on Friday, or if it's a wedding, I've got to speak to my fiance on Friday. It's okay. Would you mind if I call you back on Monday next week? And they say, yeah, sure. So they're not ready to book yet, but they're, so they're still going to remain in open status, but we don't want to just leave them in open status and have all of our inquiries in one big list from, the earliest event date to the furthest away event date, because what happens is you get a lot of time waster leads, and you don't want to be hitting this list every day, especially if you got lots of inquiries and it starts to get to like 100 inquiries or 200 inquiries that you're trying to manage, and you keep hitting these time wasters. So you need to separate these leads into different priorities, right? And that's what this is all about. And you can see that here, these different categories that I've made, which I think will help you keep things organized. So then new inquiries come in there. You speak to someone and she says, got to speak, call me back on Monday next week. Now, if it's not urgent that you call on Monday, but you could call on Monday or Tuesday, I might use a high priority, and then I'll set the follow-up date for Monday next week, right? It's going to say, you sure? You say yes, and it's going to leave a note that the date was changed. Now, if it's absolutely urgent, like let's say she says, give me a call back on Friday. You say, okay, well then I'm going to put it into urgent priority and then put it for Friday, right? So by adjusting a good, an accurate, follow-up date, a good time to follow up, and setting these, this organizes your to-do list, right? So, in my case, I've got 35 people that I've never even spoke to yet. That's why they're in make initial contact. But when I do speak to them, then I'll put them into one of these three categories. Once they're ready to book, if I call them on Friday and she says, yeah, I spoke to my husband, I want to book it. You go, okay, great. I'm going to send you a link to the booking form, and then, yeah, it'll have instructions there. So then we're going to switch it from open to tentative. And I won't click yes now, because it's going to email the customer a link to go to the booking form and complete the booking form and the contract, right? So I click yes, and it sends this email. Let me find the email templates. So next it's going to send, it's actually going to create their accounts and login details, and it's going to send this booking form instructions. So this is how I've got the email worded, but you can change this stuff. And there is lots of things you can include if you want from the event. Thank you for verbally confirming your booking with us. Now that we have received a tentative confirmation, please forward a deposit. Now that could be a percentage, like 50%, or it could be a specific amount. Deposit to secure your DJ. There are two parts. So deposit and the balance. The deposit can be paid with various payment methods, blah, blah, blah. And give them the login details, and I'll talk about the payment methods. And there is a link here for them to actually go and log in. But this link here actually logs them in automatically without them typing in login details, takes them straight to the booking form. Now, if they don't fill in the booking form, then what happens is, after, let's say they say they want to book and you switch it to tentative, and then 7 days passes and they just don't fill in the booking form and don't pay anything, then they're going to get a reminder email. This one comes out 7 days after that tentative status. It will say, we received a tentative booking from you 7 days ago and are yet to receive booking form with deposit. Please follow this link to confirm it. If things have changed and you don't want to DJ anymore, please let us know. All right. So all these emails are kind of, you can't change the day intervals at the moment. In the future, we plan to make it more customizable, but you can't change these kind of intervals. But I've already got a good system in place of when these emails should go, right? You can customize them, but I guess, say for example, with DJ Event Planner, I know that I've heard that it's a real pain in the butt to set up, whereas this is pretty much set up. You just customize the emails, add your city, set your prices, put the inquiry form on your website and wait for the inquiries to start coming in. You know, it's not that much more complicated, right?
Well, that's one of the questions I had about
Yeah.
these templates that were built in already.
Yep. Yeah, like everything is very customizable. So let's go, for example, if we go to event settings, event types, I showed you that before, right?
Yeah.
Occasions, extra equipment and services, everything is actually modifiable. Like you can add more of them, right? So event types, you can add more there, and this will be the default for the event types. So when you set these up, occasions, so the occasions are grouped into event types, but occasions is where we set the dress code. There is this thing, event options, where you can actually change the different dress codes, number of guests, the options that are available, event regularity. We kind of don't use that at the moment. And what was the other one? Extra equipment and services. So this is the thing that I have on the inquiry form with these extras.
No, but it's good that you have some that are already ready to go if you just want to go.
I have,
with it.
yeah, I do. And see, I have all smoke machine and a bunch of things already in there to push you in the right direction. But like one new thing I added since we actually recently added this ability to click and drag this stuff. It never used to be that nice. We want to actually upgrade other areas like that. But one of the cool things we did is with these extra equipment and services, for me, it used to just be smoke machine and, you know, these things, right? But then what we've done is we've made groups. So you can see this header row. When you add a new one of these things, if it's not going to be a smoke machine or a wireless microphone or something, you can actually tick this to make it a header row or a group, right? So you can create a section on that list. And then that way you can kind of use this list creatively, because it doesn't even actually have to be called extra equipment and services. You can rename it to options or packages, right? And add-ons, add-ons, right? So whatever you call it, it actually changes it there, and in the menu, you know, in the sidebar. That doesn't do that one yet, but it changes it in real time everywhere in the app. It renames, uses a new word, that word. So you can kind of use this to set it up. So I've got like equipment hire, and then I've got visual effects and extra services, packages. I think it's actually a good breakdown of categories. I should send that off to the default accounts, but yeah, you know, that you can kind of use that how you want to use it to have modification on your pricing. And from the inquiry form settings, you don't have to show every one of these things on the inquiry form. So you might want to have the packages thing hidden because it's not exactly the full package price right there. It's just a difference, and you want to be able to do that on the admin side. Now, if we go and look at, yep.
With these add-ons, let's say you change the price, but you already have a gig 2 months out that already booked that particular piece of equipment or package.
Yep.
Does that affect your ability to change that package price?
Yeah. Look, after the event is created, it's going to have these prices here, which are the default prices that you've set on that previous screen. Now, after you come to each individual event, I can change this. So let's say, you know, someone wants like 4 laser lights, and they say, can you make me a deal? Right now, by default, that's going to say 4 times 50, but I can change it. I can change that to $30 on this individual event just for that one thing. So that gives me a lot of flexibility so that we don't just have to always use the default pricing. So you can make a deal for someone. Let's say, yep.
So it doesn't stop you. So let's say somebody else have a gig already that's booked at $50.
Yeah,
it doesn't stonewall you.
You saying that when you go and change,
because one of the issues is,
yeah,
one of the issues with event planner right now, if I put my wedding package, for example, it's $1,000, right?
Yep.
And because of inflation, we've gone up to $1,200.
Yep.
If we already use this package X,
yep,
and there's a gig that has it already, it's hard for you to change it. You have to create a whole new package. You can't just change the price.
But do you want to up the price for the customer that's already booked, or the new people?
The new people. The other person's booked, they pay their money and they're ready to go.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, so that means whatever the price is for the previous person, that's not going to up the price for them. That's going to keep the same price because this is all set individually on each event. It's not going to change this information if you go and update the pricing from this table.
Okay.
Right? So if I go to this table and change the price, wherever the table is, right, this one. If I go here and change the price of something, it's not going to change this after this has already been. In fact, I don't think. Look, let me just do a test right now. Right, so I'll get the smoke machine, and I'll change it to $100. I don't think it's going to change that now because this event's already been created, and it's not going to, go and.
Right. I'm not worried about the event that's created. I'm worried about the event that I'm creating because in
the
event
new
planner,
one will set
as I'm creating a new event, I have to create a whole new package because that package is already built out to somebody else in the future.
Ah.
That's why they, so now right now I have like a whole bunch of extra packages that I don't need.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that seems silly. I mean, these problems sometimes they're structural problems with the code, and so that it's like, and then they're kind of, like I've heard that the DJ Event Planner are not great with keep improving problems like that or fixing bugs and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's just the way. But if I change that now, yes, it did change it to 100. But the question is, if I change this, if I was actually had that active and I changed that to 40 and then put to here, I'm actually curious about this. Let's see what happens. So I've got 2 and I put them to 40 because the price over here is 100. Now, if I change this back to something like 80, let's see what happens over there. It shouldn't change it. If it does, that's a bug in my opinion, because we don't want to change pricing on people that have already booked.
No. It doesn't affect the person that's already booked. It just, because I'm trying to use that package in the future. I mean, because I'm trying to use that package now.
Yeah.
What happens is I have to create another package for that next person. So if my gig is Friday coming up, they already paid and everything is good. But for me to use that same package with a new pricing, I have to create a new package for the next person 2 months from now. So sometimes that creates like a little back and forth.
I think it won't be a problem, but with Event Master Pro, we don't have an official packages pricing thing. It's kind of working around things by using this extra equipment and services. It's like a workaround in a way,
Okay, that's good.
Rather than having like a package, because a package, I mean, you just have to manually do it. Yeah, but essentially, what a package is almost like a preset of a group of things that creates a discount, right? So we don't have that kind of thing where you can just choose a package and it automatically selects a bunch of things and sets the price. We haven't got that at the moment. So it shouldn't be a problem there. Now, in terms of music planning, that's another advantage that DJ Event Planner has, is that they have like a song selector tool kind of thing. We don't have anything like that yet. I would like to build something this year, hopefully by the end of this year. But what we do have is we've got like this event plan tool, which is kind of like a Word document, right? You can actually copy and paste a Word document, but I've got like a wedding plan template that I use. And, with this template, you can save your own templates. And, you can create tables for people to answer questions. Now, when the customer logs in, they can see this same pop-up without the templates. But they can see the same pop-up and then go and answer the questions. What's the bride's nationality and what's your pre-dinner drinks, music and entrance song and bridal song. So I've created an event plan like that. Now, what happens with this is it goes onto the job sheet that the DJ gets when they are assigned to the job. So up the top here. Wait, can you see my screen still?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. It's just like I couldn't see the green line around the border. Okay, so this is the job sheet that the DJ would get, and you can see that it's put all that information from that event plan thing there. Now, the event plan thing is, like I said, it's kind of like it's not an actual Google Doc, but it's similar to a Google Doc where it's like a document that you're both working on, where you can put a list of songs or a table with a time schedule or a question and answer thing. And it's does the trick for now. So yeah, I guess that's one thing you would have to consider is that DJ Event Planner already has like a more comprehensive music system. But it won't be long before we have one, and that we will overtake them in terms of the quality and the design and functionality. So how important is that to you? How important is that
So
to you?
that music. Hold on, Paul. So you're saying that music part is for Event Planner, they have it like decades, wedding, this, da da da.
Yeah.
You don't have that functionality just yet.
Nah, not just yet.
Okay.
And it's kind of sad. I should have it by now. But so the sad part is that I actually made WordPress plugins years ago, a music planner. And that was the first thing I did before I started building this app. And I wish I had just not built the plugins and started building the app, because all that time I spent a lot of time and money building this music planner plugins. But the problem with the plugins, they're great. I had a song selector which allowed you to upload a CSV file and show all your actual songs. And then I have like a music planner which creates like a 5-step sort of questionnaire, and it actually the way I plan it is first I ask them about their event, and then I talk about their favorite styles of music, and then I ask them to put in genres of music for the background music type of part of the event. So when people are eating or when people are having cocktail or finger food, what kind of music you want. So I've loaded in, I made 30-second samples of every genre of music that I could think of. And so that people can actually listen to different genres of music and then select what they want for the background music, and then do the same for the dancing music. So that's what I made. And what I plan to do is build something like this, but I'm not going to build this planner what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a very comprehensive form builder, which allows you to add music elements such as a background music, like a genre music selector tool like that, which you can insert into your own forms. But then what I'll do is I'll create a music plan exactly like this using the form builder that I create in the app. But the benefit of that is that you'll be able to go and modify it and add your own questions and change it around in the future. Whereas this one is kind of set, even though I think it covers quite a lot of things.
All right.
Yeah. So I mean, how important is the music planner to the DG EP one to you at the moment? Like, is it something that you could live without?
I mean, adoption has been an issue.
Yep.
Because sometimes you still got to walk people through it.
Yep.
So most people end up just filling out a sheet or email with their songs.
Yeah.
But if we do give them a form, yep. I've noticed that giving them a form with, first dance, grand entrance, whatever, they're in like a questionnaire format. They feel more engaged.
This might be enough for you, because here's the thing, right? Some DJs say to me from DJP, they're like, "Oh, I can't let go of that music planner yet. Let me know when you build it, when you build yours." But if that's not as super important to you, I would say that aside from that thing, everything else is covered with EMP DJ, because, and not just that, this system is more efficient, right? Because the way this works is when the follow-up dates arrive, like I said, I put that event to Friday and then in the urgent, and then on Friday what happens is every day I just come and click here and it opens up those events right on a list. Now from this list, it's very easy for me to find that event, read the notes, ring her, okay, yep, inquiry for 2nd of June, go and read the notes, okay, yeah, spoke to this person a few times, okay, yep, call her up. Then if she wants to book it. If she doesn't want to book, cancel it. Or if, set a follow-up date, and then I come back here and then I go, okay, cool, urgent's done. Let's go to the high priorities now. Boom. Show me them 3 events. Okay. I go and ring those 3 people. Now, when you open up the list, you go here and you're like, okay, cool, Danielle, corporate function, 16th of March. Inquiry came in 11th of January. Let's go and read the notes. Had a chat with Daniel, was very nice. Okay, call back. Yeah, cool. I call back, and then I leave if I get onto him, I've set a new date. If I don't, I leave the date. and leave a note, and then I click next. And as I'm clicking next, I'm going down this list. So this system that I have here that I created is a very fast way to get through all your work that you have to do every day. And this is something that DJP doesn't have, and not even HubSpot has a next button. For some reason, they have a list of things and you can open the events, but it's actually the efficiency is selecting one of these lists. It's playing up on me.
It looks like Salesforce. You
Yeah.
know about Salesforce Outreach?
Yeah, and I have looked on. Yeah, I know of Salesforce, but actually, I don't know the actual what it looks like. It's very expensive.
Yeah, you're because I use Salesforce at my job right now,
Okay.
which I'm probably gonna leave. But one of the things that interested me when I saw yours was that it
Yeah.
looks like Salesforce in the sense of you could set up the cadence of the calls, the activities,
Yep.
and moving them through that pipeline stage with
Yep.
different dispositions. That's what I really like.
Yeah. And you know, I am very business orientated because I've run my own DJ business since 1997, and I'm also I love design and graphics, and my older brother was a software developer, and that's kind of what started me building an app. Originally, I started building it 20 years ago, so with that in mind, I know I want a little bit of I want it to look nice, but I also want it to be technical and advanced, like advanced features. So for example, one of the things we built last year, which took ages, but it was really worth it, is you'll notice here it's showing what are the active filters that are running at the moment. So here it's saying we're looking for events with an active follow-up, which means today or in the past. Where's that? Active follow-up and follow-up filter is high priority filter. So it's showing the active filters. I can reset that. And then it shows all the inquiries that I've ever had in my app, right? So it says 6,300 events, $3.5 million revenue, blah, blah. So it's kind of like a spreadsheet, what we have here in a way, because you've got your events here, except if giving this information in real time. And then we can use this here. We've got a filters button where we can actually say, show me all the corporate events. For example, if I want to do annual corporate marketing and ring the corporate clients from last year that have an event every year at the same time, I can select all the high schools and corporates, click apply. That shows me 700. Some of them, not all of them were booked, but if I want now from here, I can actually go up here and export that to a CSV file, remove the duplicates. If the same person has multiple events like this one, remove duplicates. Mailing list only, meaning people who I've unselected to be off our mailing list, don't export them, and only giving the name and email, export. And then I can take this straight to MailChimp and then do a newsletter out to 700 businesses that have even just inquired with me in the past.
That's way easier than event, because event planner, you have to save the CSV and then transport it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty powerful because you can really segment your list and export a specific segment with these settings. You can go, I want to target the kids' parties. I only want to target the schools. I only want to, you know what I mean? Like that's what this gives you the power to very quickly find those events. Now, if I say I only want to follow up the customers who have used me in the past, then I click select done. Cuts it down to 244. But what the interesting part too is, like I said, is you're actually getting real time data and saying, wow, I've done $126,000 with corporate events. The pays is 55 grand, approximately how much profit, blah, 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 right? I think that this list is quite powerful, because then what you can do is you can actually save this as previous corporate clients. Save it. It saves it to your saved searches, and then it's very easy for me to go back and load up those previous corporate clients. Cool. Now I can actually also manually just click view and then open up the details and start scrolling through that list and ringing them and go, hey, you guys used us, used our service in, well, that was too recent. That was January, but used us last year at this time. I'm just wondering if you want to book us again. And if they want to book it, then you go and create a new event. What you can do is you can either just fill in the inquiry form on your own website and use the customer's email, it will automatically create a new inquiry for that person. Or there is actually an admin inquiry form on the left here, which you can go and you can fill the admin inquiry form here. One of the difference with this inquiry form, as opposed to the one that you embed to your website, is you can actually uncheck to send the quote. So you can not send them the automatic quote if you use this form. Let's say you need to add an event for a hotel that's booking you every week or something. You don't want to send an automatic quote every time. So you can fill that in here and then uncheck that and create that event. So one of the other things that I think you might be interested in is the contract system and the customer login area. Now, I'm going to be upfront. The current customer login area we have is really ugly. It's outdated, but we're actually nearly finished building a new one. So we've got a new one that's going to be launched, I'd say, in about 2 weeks. So the new design is like I've completely just kind of forgotten about desktop and focused on what it looks like on a mobile. I can try and find some screenshots. I don't have heaps handy, but I can show you what the new design will kind of look like. But along with the new customer login design, we're launching the new contract system. And the new contract system is basically when they complete the booking form, there will be a pop-up. Sorry, I'm trying to find something while we talk. When they complete the booking form, there will be a pop-up which pops up your contract, right? Now, we've already added in the app the new contracts list, but this is not fully implemented yet till we launch the new customer login. But at the moment, you can already go and set up your contract between you and the customer. Now, I've got a template one in there already for you, which I think is really good. It covers a lot of things, music selection, event details. It automatically inserts all the details from the event. You can choose all these things, including you can force them to, you can get their IP address, and you can also, if you want, force them to put their home address and a couple other details that might be required to verify their identification. And so when this pop-up comes on the booking form and they go to submit the payment, it's going to pop this up and say, do you agree? And they can click decline or accept, and they have to type their name in, and it looks like a very nice calligraphic writing. They accept that, and what that's going to do is then make a PDF, and it's going to email you both a copy of the PDF, you and the customer, which they can download at any time. Now, when they download it, it doesn't recreate the PDF. It actually stores and saves it at the point that they actually sign it, stores it in their account on the thing, and then you can both download it anytime you want, right?
So they're signing in the app.
Yeah, when you're inside the app, you can download it, but also what it's going to do is going to send an email to you and the customer. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to make it automatically download for the customer. So there's kind of no excuse that they've got a copy of the contract, and you know what I mean? So
where would they sign it? Can they do an e-signature?
Yeah. It's going to be, basically, it's going to be like a little text area, like a white block, and they'll type their name in. And we've used a really nice font. Basically, we're using a calligraphic font, and we're printing that font onto the PDF. So if I put my name here, it makes quite a sexy looking signature. Because look, part of the thing with, and I've done a lot of research on online contracts and stuff, and at the end of the day, it's not like the same as signing a piece of paper with a pen. We're trying to make it look as professional as possible, so it can be held credible, and that's just the way it is with contracts. So we use formal fonts, and one thing's, like I said, we collect their IP address, and you can ask for their home address, and it also creates a special unique ID for each PDF that gets shown on each page of the contract.
Okay. All right, Paul. I want to move forward here with something I want to ask you.
Yep.
On your subscription packages, how many people can have access to the account to book events? How does that work?
It's unlimited. It's unlimited. People can use the account. But at the moment, we only have an admin account. In the future, we need to make it. We have a sales rep account, but it doesn't particularly hide any specific information. So we're going to revamp that sort of side of things in the future. But at the moment, you can create as many admin accounts as you want, and so you can have multiple salespeople logging into this login area where they can see this and manage things. Yeah.
Another one I want to ask you: when someone makes a payment, does the payment get automatically updated in the system as they pay?
Yes, if it's a credit card or if it's a PayPal. We've also added Venmo. We just need to test it, but we've added the code for it, so it's ready. Okay. This is the new customer login area checkout screen. So after they fill the booking form, then they're going to come to this kind of checkout. This is actually just a screenshot because it's not live yet. They'll choose a payment method. When they choose a payment method, it'll have instructions there, and then they'll choose a payment plan, right? So the plan might just be one payment, pay all up front, right? That's one payment. Two payments is you pay the deposit now and you pay the balance on the date that you want the final balance to be due by. Now that could be the Monday before the event. So in the app, you can actually set what that date is that you want to collect the payments. It might be 2 weeks before. So whatever that final payment date is, that's the second payment of these two payments.
Excuse me, Paul.
Yep.
Yeah, quick question. So what is the percentage that charges as far as a processing fee or
what? Fee? I think Square have about a 2% fee, and only just someone last week said, can you make it add that fee to the quote? So we will add a setting for that very soon. Actually, when we launch the new login area, we're going to have a setting if you want to add the processing fee to the customer's quote. So we're going to add that. Yeah. That's a Square.
Yeah, I currently use Square. Yeah, because I use Square, so I had to charge this. I think now I have to charge like almost 6%. So I'm like, what is how?
Yeah, what we might do is for each payment method, like those electronic payment methods, we might have a little place that you can put the percent of the fee, and if you want to charge that fee or not, so on top. So we could, we're going to add that. We'll add that. Yeah. Now, if they choose 3 payments, it gives them the dates here. It'll work out the dates in real time. It'll just instantly, when they come to this page, it'll have the dates already set. So for 3 payments, it's basically like the deposit is now, the balance is on that date that you want the final payment for, and the middle date it'll be perfectly set between. So if it's like 60 days, it'll be 30 days away will be the second payment. And same with 4 payments. So we allow them to go up to 4 payments. Now, what this is just going to do, it's not going to automatically debit their money from their account at the moment. I think what it's going to do is send them an email to basically one click to take them straight to this checkout screen and process the next payment, right? So yeah, that's how this is gonna be. But I'll be able to. I'm going to make a demo video once this new login area is ready with the contract system and that. But as you can see, I've kind of gone for a very simplistic design, and it's this just all is super mobile friendly. Like these things just kind of squish to the width of the screen and they look great. And that's all I wanted, is for this customer area to be simple and just easy to use. Like customer is going to log in and they're going to see upcoming events or past events. They click upcoming events, then they see all the dates they have booked. If they have multiple dates, they click the event, and then on the event, it's going to say event plan, view invoice, make a payment, download the contract. It just literally just buttons. All right, because I want it to be like literally you can push it with your thumb. It's super easy. So that's the focus with the new customer login. And then shortly after that, we're going to rebuild the DJ login to the same, basically very similar design. And it's white labeled as well, so it's automatically going to put your logo, and there's no other branding except for the URL, which we will add custom domains in the future. You can, however, add SMTP for your email and then have the emails going out from your official domain, and that improves deliverability when you're using your own domain email.
How about a calendar? Is it integrated with your Google or?
Yeah, Google. So on the dashboard, we have obviously got this little mini calendar here. This is kind of for upcoming events, and yeah, that's just makes it very easy to see what's going on in the coming weeks. We come down to the main calendar here. Now there is actually a screen on the side, but personally, I just tend to use the one on the dashboard because it's easier to scroll down to. You can select any date. Well, you can actually add an event by doing that, but you can select any day and then it shows those events over here on the right, and then from here I can click any of those and it opens that event in the new tab. But yeah, as for the Google Calendar sync, you just come and click this button. Now I've already connected it to my Google Calendar, so when I click this, it's actually just going to update because anytime there's a little change to any booked or tentative event, this icon appears, and then you do actually have to manually click it when you see the icon to sync it.
Quick question for you, Paul, again. Sorry.
Yep.
Is there like is it also compatible? Does it come in the form of a phone app as well? Because sometimes you get a random call from a customer or a client, hey, are you available March 23rd? And I just want to pull out my cell phone and just look if
look. We don't have a mobile app, but we've started improving the mobile responsiveness of the admin area, right? Okay. So if I do change this to mobile view, you'll see that after I refresh the screen, yeah, so we've made it mobile friendly so that you can actually get in there and access information.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it looks nice. We spent a bit of time making this look like a mobile app. It looks like a mobile app.
Yeah. But I mean, you can still go on a website. It's website friendly on your cell phone.
Yeah.
Or iPad.
Yeah, I will say that we need to update the event detail screen, the event list, which is if you click one of these and then it opens up the list of events. That looks good. But then when you click the event and it scrolls open, it's a little bit hard to, well, basically this slide out tab, we need to update this design, which we are going to do in the next few months. We're going to update that. But at the moment, this is, needs some work. But yeah, the main thing is that when you're on the road is that you can get the customer's number or check a date and that kind of thing. And the other thing is that the other main thing is that it's easy for customers and DJs to log in, and it's mobile friendly for them, and it will be with the new design.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, what do you think anyway? Like, I mean, aside from that, it's, I didn't really show you much of the dashboard, but like I said, you got your follow-ups here, these upcoming events. This is activity feed, when DJs log in, customers log in, booking forms received, contracts which we're about to launch, marketing stuff. I asked people what keyword they type, and 9 times out of 10 they fill it in, because I asked them, I put some little kind of request like, can you help us out or something, and people fill it in. So it's good to see those keywords. What's also really good here is, I'm not sure what's going on with this chart, but it shows you this income and revenue over time in real time. Just remove that chart. So this is actually also really valuable information, especially when you kind of look back and see these kind of patterns over time, especially when you've been using it for a long time. You can really analyze things. Like, obviously I used to be, going a bit stronger back around 2015 to 2017. You can see revenue $30,000 in 1 month. That's awesome. Pays $20,000, which is like 60% of it, and you make about so you have to make $30,000 to make $10,000. But yeah, I think this is another thing that I'm not sure if DJAP or other apps offer this in real time. You might be able to export it and then throw it into a spreadsheet or something, but this is one of
No,
the
you
most.
kind of have to go in and drill down.
Huh?
You have to go in and drill down by year and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. See, this is the information you just need at your fingertips daily, not like when you got time to go and open a report, because look, my chart doesn't look great because I'm not pushing my DJ business at the moment, but it's good to see, when things are increasing, month to month. When you're really focusing on how much money you're making over time, you can increase it. But you can see here it shows the revenue, the pays, that's that one, and then this one is the sales you made in this month. So these are revenue and pays of done events in this month, the ones that booked and done events within the month, and these are the sales you made in that month for the future. Right, so I made $10,000 worth of sales for the future in that month, and so yeah, that's really important information to have that graph there. By default, this event list on the dashboard, it's the same one that you find by clicking this, but on the one on the dashboard by default is selected to upcoming events. So all your basically tentative booked events show up on this list, and I like to kind of work out the roster from here. You can't assign it DJ from here, although you should be able to. But basically from here, I can kind of look at the date, the city, and then kind of work out, okay, yeah, I'm going to go and check out the DJs. Now, if I want to assign this DJ, what I'll actually do is I might click the name, which opens it into a new tab, and then go to the DJ drop down. And the DJ drop down is going to show me all the DJs in this city. So it's not going to show me DJs from other cities, right? If you're using multiple cities. So then I can see all my DJs, and also you can actually give the DJs like a star rating, and then what's going to happen is your 5-star DJs will show at the top of the list, and obviously 1-stars go down the bottom. And if you want, you can actually deactivate the DJ so they disappear from the list.
Okay.
Now you can actually, on the DJ's contact details, when you create a DJ, I call them performers because at some point in the future, this app is going to be adaptable for all events, businesses. But once you create this DJ, you can say whether they are going to use your global pay rate, which you can actually set in the contact settings, standard pay rate. You can set up your pay rates. And basically the way it works is that for each globally or for each DJ, you can decide whether they're going to work on an hourly rate or a flat rate. So if it's a flat rate, they're going to get $400 per gig, and that's it. Right? It doesn't matter if it's 3 or 4 hours or whatever. Hourly rate, you set the hourly rate for that DJ, and you can have a different hourly rate if it's overtime hours. And this you keep that on. That just means they don't get paid for that setup hour at the start. And so that means you can have different hourly rates for each individual DJ. So when you load up a DJ, it's automatically going to look at, this is the pay calculator, and it's automatically going to look at how many hours the event is, what the hourly rate, and then work out their pay. And you can then modify it if you have to. Oh, okay, cool. The guy had to pay for parking as well. Once it's ready, you click ready to pay. And now I know that when I see that come up on my payment list, I don't have to even think about it because I've checked it, and that's what that means. Now, once these are all done and ready to pay, they start showing up on your pays owing over here. So you can start to see DJs that you owe money to. But this is also money that I need to collect. That's for done events. I don't know why that's so big. We have to do, maybe it's just record accounting. And this means that for this coming weekend, I've got $495 to collect. So if I've got $495 to collect for the coming weekend, and I've got 14 to collect from already done events, so I just need to ring them up, follow up, and add the payments. That means the total to collect is $1905, and yet my pays are currently owing $650. So cash flow, I just basically get $1950 minus $650, and then that leaves me $1300. So that means that's what I'm going to be left with. So this helps you keep an eye on your cash flow to know, when your pay's working, money that you need to collect, money you need to collect for coming week, and work that stuff out. I think it does a little bit. So basically from here, when I'm ready to do the pays, I click make payments. And then from here, I've got a screen where we can see the DJs that I have already selected are ready to pay, as I was just showing you before, the ones that have done events that are ready to pay, right? Now, if they're not ready to pay, I unclick that and then they'll show me, but it looks like there's none. But if they're not ready to pay, then they'll show up here and I can click it, it'll open that event, and then I can go to open that calculator and check the payment. And then once I've checked the amounts and then I click ready to pay, come back here and it will show up on the list, right? And then when I want to pay this DJ, the app doesn't do the actual payment for you. This is just a record taking. So, and it notifies the DJ. So if I want to pay this DJ, now I select this. Do you want to create a new payment group? I say yes. The reason we create a payment group is because sometimes you're paying the same DJ for multiple events. So, you know, say his pay is $300, then there is 2 events you have to pay him for. So that group payment will be $600, which is covering for those 2 events. So if I click here, I can see those events that are linked with that payment group. Most of them is I'm just paying for one event, but like you'll see if there's a DJ with multiple events, they'll show up over there. And when you do select this and create a payment group and then payment, it's going to email the DJ and say you've just been paid. Although you can turn that off, but yeah, basically. So it's got a system to help you stay on track top of your pays and we can create a report from this, which you can give to your accountant and say, these are all the payments I made to DJs. And if you want to know what that $600 for was, it was for them 2 events. So, yeah.
2 questions. Now, this is obviously your back office. The client or your contracted DJ does not see.
No, they don't see this. The customer login is going to be this kind of themed design. I'm sorry, I don't have the latest.
Oh.
But yeah, the customer login is going to be this completely mobile friendly. Looks nothing like your login area.
Okay.
And this is a new design that we just started. We've started working on this in January, but actually we've been planning for it since a long time.
Perfect. Second question is, now when you're paying your DJs, is it paying from that system or is it like you?
No, you're gonna have to go and make a bank transfer, right? So yeah.
Okay, so this is a manual input.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will be a whole new level.
I got you. Perfect.
Pay DJs out of your bank and stuff like that. But yeah, you just manually. I forget where it is now. You just manually make the payment, and then you mark it as paid, and then it will send them an email, and then you know it's been paid, and then you can forget about it. But at least,
All right,
I mean, yeah, before I even had this myself, sometimes you can forget. Yeah, cool. So anyway, what do you guys think anyway overall, real quick?
I mean, I like it. We'll just have to see what we do to move it forward. But I see you have a 14-day free trial, but I think we need more than 14 days.
That's cool. You know what? After the 14 days, just send me a message and then I'll just add another 14 days or whenever you want. When the trial runs out, tell me and I'll just add more. And if you want to have another meeting, and because like after you've had a look at it and you've got a bunch of questions, you're welcome to come back and book another meeting anytime.
Okay. All right. This has been very informational. Definitely appreciate it. You got any more questions, Mickey?
No, so far so good. Thank you. Yeah, cool. To me it's easy.
Yeah. I think I covered pretty much just about everything. So we covered a lot.
Yeah. Go ahead and do your follow up with us. But it's getting a nod of approval for now.
Cool.
So
awesome.
I definitely appreciate the time, man.
Great to hear and look forward to hearing from you guys again.
All right, cool.
Okay. See you later.
That was awesome.
Yeah.